I sent a documentary to Brian to watch that we could talk about, and it's the stress documentary. It's on YouTube. It's by the One Research Foundation. So Brian and I are going to talk it up a little bit about this, and I'm excited to talk about this. But before I do that, B, like what's your thought on this? What's the first thought you have on stress, like as far as like health and collective, man?
It's everything. It sounds cliche, but like my background's a holistic health practitioner.
Yeah.
And the first thing they teach you is like, if somebody comes to you, like, you're a trainer, I'm a trainer. People come to you, they want three things most of the time. They want to lose weight, they want to drop body fat, and they want to have more energy. Or maybe four would be like, they have aches and pains they want to get out of. Those are like the top four, right?
Right. There's
not a diet, there's not an exercise program, there's not a rehab solution as far as like, strengthen this, stretch this, that's going to get you out of that pain or change your body composition or give you more energy without controlling the stresses in your life. Yeah. And it's so tough. Like people come to me like, like they're toned, say for example, they're toned in their arms, but like, oh, I just can't get rid of this belly. There's no tone in there. And then you start talking about their stress. I'm like, oh, like, what's some of the stressful things going on in your life? Husband, wife, money, their work is just beating them up. Their boss is beating them up. Their kids are giving them. I feel like they never want to address that problem. They're always looking for simple solutions. Hey, just tell me what to eat. Just tell me what exercise to do. And they think it's gonna happen. So until you address those stressful things in your life head on, you're never going to get any of those goals that you come and see a fitness professional or a rehab professional or a physical therapy professional. So when I think of stress, I think it's the foundation of everything that you want out of life, but it's the one thing that's holding you back. So it's like we talked about in the past, it's shadow work, right?
Yeah. It really, man, listen, yes, thank you for that, man, because it's one of the components that's so evident everywhere, yet people fail to acknowledge its contribution to our health and well-being, bro. I'm fascinated with this, and listen, bless up to it is a One Research Institute that did this. I was hooked in it when they started talking about how stress impacts the digestion system. And it's interesting, B, because when I did the detox, one of the things that was interesting, especially when my digestion was running smoothly, my blood pressure was down. And I recognized like when I'm stressed, my digestion system is very shaky, rocky, bro. Yeah. And that contributes and they talked about this in the documentary, how our digestion, because of, and we're going to talk a little bit about, I don't know what you got in notes, but like, I want to talk a little bit about the brain science that they talked to. But when they were talking about how stress and the perception of stress, right? The perception of stress will bind your belly and your ass up. What I just mentioned, the overload of processed food, sugar, news. Man, like when you hear that, especially like from your background, man, talk to the people about how much this is important or how much this impacts our stress level.
Oh my God. It's such a broad question. I don't even know where to begin. Like food. Yeah, let's go like food. Our food supply is shit. It is absolute shit. If you would take our food supply and you would send it to other countries, there would be 30 countries that would consider our food to be illegal. It's poison. It's poison. You really got to know what you're eating. And a lot of today, like we've talked about this before, too many people are counting calories and not counting chemicals in your body, or chemicals that you're putting in your body or putting on your body, right? With lotions and products and toothpastes and deodorants and all this other stuff. And it's super important that if you're kind of take a step back, like everyone has a phone. You can easily educate yourself by looking at things on your phone. So what I mean by that is if you're in a situation where you're not happy with the way you're stressed out, or you're not losing weight, or your energy's low, or you're always in a bad mood, I would look at the food first that you're putting in your body. That's a stress that's on your life. Food, nutrition stress is probably one of the biggest stresses. And then look at like the back of the ingredients. Educate yourself on the chemicals that are on the labels that you're putting in your body. Educate yourself on what pasteurized milk is. And like, because bread, it's not even real bread. It's a bunch of chemicals that makes it look like bread. Our bread, if you put it in other countries, they would look at it and be like, there's no ingredients in that bread. You're just breaking down nutrients in your body. Yeah. So there's so much stuff. Pasteurized orange juices, like the stuff that we feed our kids, cereals, Pop-Tarts. Like it goes enough, man. Like,
well, the thing too is like I would like for us to relate it to the crowd is when we're taking in all these processed foods, it stops up our gut function.
Sure.
So now there's these wastes that contribute in your gut, and if your food is jammed up and you're using this to help you function or nourish yourself, your whole processes are going to be off. So Absolutely. It's going to be easy, right? So it's going to be easier for you to get stressed.
Sure.
You're going to fail to digest, and that's what one of the things they said. Like if we're feeling like if we fail to digest our foods, chances are we're failing to digest our thoughts. Okay. So this again contributes to a stressor in the body. Right? We're talking about the psychological stress, but the taxing on your digestive system to try to process the foolishness that's happening in your body, or that you may be putting in your body, is creating a heightened level of stress for you, if that's what you're experiencing right now.
Yeah, I think it was like anytime you put something in your body that is not recognized by Mother Nature, or something that's synthetic, it slows everything down. Think of it as like being at the airport and you have your bags and the person's up there, phone, wallet, keys, make sure to check your pockets, coins, get them out of your bag, put them in the bin, laptops out of your bag, put them in the bin. And you always get that one idiot that was on their phone, wasn't paying attention, and they put their laptop in their bag, their keys are still in their pocket, and then they go through and the alarm goes off. And now everyone's got to wait because this person wasn't paying attention. That's basically what's going on with the transit time in your gut. When food going through it, you basically have somebody like a TSA agent be like, all right, you can go through. They can be like, what the hell is a fucking Pop-Tart? All right, hold up, we're going to stop this. And everything starts getting backed up in there. And then when everything starts getting backed up, you start creating more toxins in your body. That toxins go into your fat. And as your body becomes more toxic, you naturally, you're just bringing down your energy. You're everything you possibly do is either creating energy or it's lowering your energy. Energy never dies. I shouldn't say create, but you're either bringing it up or you're bringing it down. Yep. So when you start bringing it down, it's going to be very easy for your body to get triggered by any kind of stressful situation. And that's the problem. Like, everyone handles stress differently. A healthy person, they can handle stress a lot different than somebody that's, 30-40% body fat and eating Big Macs, 2 or 3 times a week and not working out. Yeah. There's a big difference.